So I had mentioned something about ads on a live, and that's where the question had stemmed from. So let me just say, I'll start with this. You're always going to do whatever is going to work best for you. You're going to lean into what feels best for your business, and you're going to have different goals. Everybody has different goals and different ways that they want to run their business. Now, for me, for the first few years I was in business, and few, I mean like 6 years, 7 years, I was not into ads. I didn't want to run ads. I had come from a world learning from mentors how to build my business without paid ads. And so that's just the world I came from. That's sort of what I expected. It's what I wanted to do. It's what I saw my mentors doing. And so that's exactly what I did. Now for me, I was able to generate multiple millions in revenue before we ever decided that maybe it's time to run ads. And so for years, like I said, about 7 years, we were doing multiple millions in revenue. We did everything organically. So it was word of mouth, it was Instagram, my very small email list, and that was pretty much it. I mean, there were times that we were using Facebook, but at the time, 7 years in, like I wasn't even doing affiliates. It was just word of mouth, Instagram, but that was it. It was totally organic. And we got to a place in our business where number one, we wanted to obviously make a bigger impact and reach more people. And number two, we had the overhead, we had the revenue, we had the money to sort of play with. But more importantly, what I really want you to hear is that we had a proven system. We had a proven offer. We had an offer that was converting. We had an offer that people wanted. We had people on wait lists. We had client results. We had been doing it for so many years, specifically our signature program, Empower, which we've now been running for 5 years. 2018, we've been running it for 5 years. And so when there was enough proof, social proof and demand and client testimonials and results, and the offer was so clear that our conversions were so high when we would present that offer to people, that's when we decided that, hey, let's try ads. Because here's the thing, a huge mistake that a lot of coaches are making, a huge mistake that coaches are making is that they think that they need more leads, and they think that leads is the problem. So if they're not making enough sales, they think the problem is leads. And so then they want to dump money into something like ads or boosting a post. And they think that that's going to help them magically make more sales. But if your offer is the problem, if your messaging is the problem, if people don't understand what it is you're selling, if your market is not validated or your offer is not validated, it doesn't matter how many leads you bring in. The problem isn't the leads. The problem is the conversion. So what I say all the time is get like super clear, get on lock with the conversion. Make sure that you know exactly what it is. You have it highly converting. You've got people asking for it. Have proof of all of those things before you ever decide to maybe run ads. That's my personal opinion. Then the other thing that you want to understand is there's a lot of different types of ads. So you can run ads for awareness, and that can just be something as simple as views, like video views, where you pop up in somebody's feed when they're scrolling or when they're on their stories. And there's no strict call to action for the person to like join a webinar. There's nothing for them to download. It's not a freebie. You're not trying to get them on your email list. It's just a view. So they're just seeing you, right? Then there are going to be conversion ads, or there's going to be like opt-in ads where now you're getting somebody to join your email list. And so you're asking them to take a quiz, or you want to give them a free PDF or a download. And in exchange for that, they're going to give you their email. That's a different type of ad. There's going to be reminder and awareness ads. So maybe if you're doing a launch and your doors are open, enrollment period is open or doors are closing, you can retarget the people that are part of your launch mechanism, your launch vehicle, and you can send ads out specifically to those people, reminding them that, hey, doors are open or doors are going to be closing. Or you can even push them ads as targeted ads for client testimonials and stories of people who have gone through your program or your product. Now, the other thing that happens with ads, and this, I'm not going to get super into it, but the other thing that happens with ads is there's different audiences that you get to create. And so as you're working with your ads manager, not like a person, but your ads manager on Facebook, for example, you're going to start figuring out what audiences do you want to target. You can create lookalike audiences. You can create audiences from your email list. You can create audiences from your already existing social media. You can make a lookalike audience for people that have engaged with your social media or people who have purchased from you in a certain amount of time. So when you are running ads, you're going to be testing a lot of different types of ad assets as well. So the assets are going to be the creative, which is like the video, the picture, etc. The copy is going to be what you write with it. You're going to test a bunch of different copy as well. And so the game of ads is trial and error. The game of ads is pulling a lever, turning a dial, making tweaks, seeing how it goes, and being patient. The biggest thing is you gotta be patient. So again, a huge mistake that coaches are making essentially is throwing money at the problem, thinking that the problem, they're not where they want to be revenue-wise. They think it's a leads problem. And so if I run ads or I boost a post, I'm going to magically all of a sudden make more sales. That's not the issue, right? We want to go back to the basics. So maybe the issue is, like I said, your messaging, maybe it's your offer. We want to get that converting and have all of that proof that it's working before you were to ever dump any money into it. The other thing that I would say is just be mindful if you are ever just boosting a post. So boosting a post is very different than running ads. Running ads is when you're setting up those audiences we were talking about, you're testing different things. Boosting a post is taking a post that you've put up and throwing a couple bucks behind it. $10, $50, $100. The issue with that is it's not necessarily targeting the right people. It's not necessarily taking into account the data metrics that you would be looking for when you would be running ads. It's just pushing it out more. And so what that could do is, like, yes, it could get more eyeballs. It could even help you go viral, but virality is not the goal. So often people are so focused on getting more eyeballs and more, virality. And then what happens is you get a whole bunch of people that are following you who aren't actually interested in what you're selling. They're not your ideal client. Or they think that you're going to be talking about one thing, which is what they saw, but then actually you're talking about something completely different. This is the problem with virality. Happens all the time. I've seen it happen so many times to our clients where they're a nutrition coach and then they put up a reel one day where they're just like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted from making all of this nutrition content. So they put up like a stupid reel with their dog, just like a funny reel with their dog, and it goes viral. And then all these people start following them because they're expecting and wanting more funny content or more dog content. But the reality is they're a nutrition coach, and so 99% of their content is about nutrition. And then people who follow them because of the virality, then all of a sudden people are scrolling and they're like, what? Who is this person? I don't want to listen to this. I have no interest in this. And so they maybe unfollow, or they don't unfollow. This is a problem. They don't unfollow because they don't even realize that they're following you. They don't care, right? They're not interested. Not only do they not buy, but when it comes down to analytics, when it comes down to your engagement, the way that engagement works is you take the number of likes, shares, saves, follows, you divide it, or comments, you divide it by your total followers. So if you have 100 people that are engaging with you and you have 1,000 followers, your engagement, I can't do the math, is really good. 10%, is that right? Really, really good. That's super duper high. But if you have 100 people who are engaging with you and something of yours goes viral and now you have 100,000 followers, now what is that? 1%? Am I dumb? Like, did I just get that wrong? Whatever. I'm not a math teacher, but you get my point. So having all these extra followers can actually harm you, because what ends up happening is when your engagement is low like that, the way that engagement works is it's a snowball. And so if the platform, whatever platform you're on, sees that people are interested in what you're doing, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of comments, there's a lot of likes, the platform, the algorithm is going to push it to more people saying, I don't know, everybody seems to be liking this right now. Even if you're not interested in what this thing is, we're going to show it to you because everybody seems to be liking it. So when you all of a sudden get all these followers that aren't interested in what you're doing, but they thought they were following you for another reason, it can harm your algorithm. It can harm your numbers. And it's not just about the number, like the vanity metric, but if it harms your algorithm numbers, then it's not getting out in front of people, the right people, or any people. So boosting a post is essentially just throwing money behind a post that you think people are going to like, or maybe it started to do well. But again, ask yourself why it was doing well. Was it doing well because it was just really shareable and funny? Maybe it had nothing to do with your business. Was it doing well because you were super polarizing? Now, those things are okay. Those are okay reasons for it to be doing well, but you need to be a detective and a scientist in your business and really start to ask yourself better questions. So in my opinion, I am not an advocate for throwing money behind boosted posts. I kind of just see it as a waste of money, if I'm being honest. And ads, my strong opinion on ads is that I personally just don't think that you should be doing ads or running ads until you have a proven conversion. So it's not about like your product getting people results necessarily. Of course, we want that to be happening because you want social proof. But do you have a conversion that's actually convert? Do you have an offer that's actually converting? That would be the most important thing. If it's not converting, then you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to check your messaging and you need to tweak it. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have spent, I can't even tell you how many times, Mike and I will sit down and work for an hour and a half on one sentence. It will work for an hour and a half on one headline that's going to go on a sales page or an opt-in page. And then sometimes we scrap it and we go back to the drawing board and we do the same process again. We've spent hours working on singular headlines before because that's how much it matters. And then you can split test, right? So you can have 2 different opt-in pages. One has this headline, the other has this headline, and organically you can just split test which one is working better, which one are more people actually opting in or clicking on, which one's getting more traction. At that point, that's where it's like, okay, maybe it would be something when you know that it's working, you know that it's converting, maybe it's something in the future that you would run ad money to. And the way that ad money works is it's not so much like pay to play. I mean, it is, you have to pay to play. Don't forget, you're competing against other major corporations that have nothing to do with your business. So the way that it works is like right now, it's an expensive time to be running ads this time of year. So it's the end of September. We're approaching the holidays. Think of the biggest brands in the world. So here's Ilia, the makeup that I use. My robe that I'm wearing that my sister-in-law gave me is a Victoria's Secret robe. Pepsi, literally like every company, right? Every single company, they are spending a lot of money right now on ads to get their content in front of you, to increase their sales, to make sure that you're aware of them. Dyson, right before it's like the holidays are coming. So these huge companies are spending a lot of money on ads right now. And there are certain seasons that are more expensive than others. And this is one of them. The holiday season is, fact, more expensive to acquire a lead, because it's not that I'm competing against Dyson. I don't sell what Dyson sells, but I'm competing against Dyson with the eyeballs, right? So the amount of ad money that I would be spending versus what they're spending, it's like pennies on the dollar. They're spending hundreds of thousands, millions, multi-millions. Budweiser, all these companies, multi-millions on ad spend. So what that means is the more money they spend, the more reach they get. That means it's harder for me, the little dog, to get in front of people organically and with ads. So even though, I hope this is making sense, even though we're not selling the same thing, they are very much, I am competing with them for the eyeballs right now. So that's the thing with ads too. The other thing that I'll say with ads, and I'm not an ads expert, but a lot of questions came in about ads. Like I said, we've only been running ads for the last 2 years, I want to say. And the reason is so that we can help more people, right? We would love to get in front of more people so that we can help more people build their businesses and make a bigger impact. We're in a place in our business where we have proven offers. We know that they convert, and we have the overhead that we can play with. So you do not need to be spending ad money. I told you we were doing multiple millions in revenue before we ever did start to play with ads. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't a huge fan of it at first because I had so much pride in the fact that I had built my entire business for years organically. And that was always something I was really proud of. It's amazing to be able to do that. And that's what we teach our clients, is to do it organically. We don't teach ads. So for a long time, I had a little bit of resistance around ads until I started to realize what they were actually just helping us do. And what they're helping us do is help more people. And that's awesome, right? Now, Kelly's on right now. She's an old friend of mine. We were in a mastermind together back in like 2018. My gosh, 5 years ago. That's where we met. And a lot of you might know who she is, Kelly Chase, because she was on the first season of Love is Blind. And that first aired, I believe, during COVID, and like everybody was watching it. And so her followers jumped literally overnight. She skyrocketed. She gave me a thumbs up that I could share a little bit of her story. And so Kelly's an incredible coach, and she does a lot of really cool things. And then she was on this reality show, and her followers went through the roof. I don't know what she has, 100,000, 200,000, something like that. But most of the people that were following her were not her ideal client. In fact, a lot of people who were following her were just men who were enjoying following her because she's beautiful. There were people following her because they were just interested in the show and what was happening on the show, and they wanted to see what was going on behind the scenes. And here she was, like a life coach, a self-love, a body positivity, a women's empowerment coach. I'm not sure what your title is today, love. You can put it in the chat. But she was doing all these incredible transformational things for women, and all of these people following her were following her for the wrong reasons. And so I think she probably struggled with her engagement, right? Because all of a sudden it was like, whoa, you have all these followers, but they don't care about what you're doing. And then I know that it was also, there's this massive disconnect with what people expect to see from her. So people are there expecting to see like the drama of reality TV and all of that stuff. And she's like, no, I want to help people. Like I'm a coach and I help people do these transformational things. And I talk about other stuff. Like this is what I want to talk about. And so there was this massive disconnect for her, and there might still be, I'm not sure. We haven't chatted in a while. But you can hear her story actually on our podcast. She was towards the beginning, we're right around like episode 140-ish with my podcast. Kelly was probably episode like 20 or something, but you can go back and it's Kelly Chase Life with Kelly. She shares her story on our podcast, Digital Business Evolution, and she shares open and vulnerably about the struggles and the challenges with what happened when she went viral and sort of the expectations people had of her. And you can go follow her and learn more about it because she talks about it openly, which I so appreciate, because on the outside, it's all the glitz and the glam that we always talk about. It's all the stuff that's above the water with the iceberg, right? You're like, oh my God, so many followers and like, oh, red carpet events and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, but we all know that a lot of followers doesn't mean that your business is doing well. It doesn't mean that you're making a ton of money. It doesn't mean that everything in your life is perfect because you have a lot of followers on the internet. That's just not the way that it works. I've had so many case studies of clients that we've worked with, influencers who've come in with hundreds of thousands of followers who have never sold anything of their own. They're selling other people's products, right? Like, hey, love this, click the link, I'll get 10% of a commission, but they don't own anything. They don't sell anything themselves. And then when they go to sell something themselves, a lot of times their audience is like, whoa, hold on, what? Do you want how much money? I don't want to pay you for that. This isn't our relationship. So we've had some big influencers come through our signature program, Empower, and they've struggled. The other thing that happens is, I call it the Kardashian effect. So you get this big influencer, 300,000 followers, showing up, selling other people's products all the time. And then they say, hey, I've got a coaching program. I've got a course. I want you to join it. Apply here. And then because there's the Kardashian effect where their followers are just so interested in them, and they're like, I'll do whatever you say, jump, and I'll say how high. You want me to apply? Got it. I'm going to apply. I don't even know what I'm applying for. And so they'll send out their applications. They'll open the doors. This has happened so many times, I can't even tell you. Big influencers that you know and follow that you love. And they'll get 150 applications on day one. And I have to tell them, like, cautiously optimistic, there is a good chance that not one of those people buys. You're getting 150 applications the first day of doors open, the first time you're ever launching something, because you told your audience to do it. And your audience is so trained to do what you say. And they're excited. They want to talk to you. They want to get on the phone with you. They have the Kardashian effect. You're just like alluring. And time again, these massive influencers who we work with will get all these applications and nobody will buy. They'll get on sales calls. I'll never forget one of our biggest influencers that we worked with. She was in the first 2 weeks the card opened. She did something like 50 sales calls. This poor girl, like 50 sales calls. And 50 of them were just like, I just wanted to get on the phone with you. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you. Wait, I have to pay for this? Kardashian effect. So it's not always a good thing, right? It's not always a good thing. So that's what I'm going to end today with. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. I'm available if you need anything. As I end every episode, I'm going to say cheers to your evolution. And that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.